it's not just Draymond. It's a lot of guys, that trying to discredit what I do every night or who I am as a player. Or, like it's part of it, And for me, I would always take that as respect. If I wasn't, if I was an average defensive player, average player, they wouldn't talk about me, right?
Hello there.
What's up?
How you doing?
Great. How are you?
So as you're walking in, I hear my producer say, "Oh, what are you wearing? Are you wearing your own shirt?" But that's not you.
That's not me.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's a great tribute. So you're at the Bleacher Report offices for the first time.
First time.
Yes, and I have to begin with your relationship with Bleacher Report. I think that we all saw. In your press conference, you talked about the way that the media covers you, and you specifically talked about Bleacher Report and what we decide to post and not to post. So I want to give you the platform to elaborate on how you feel about how BR covers Rudy Gobert.
I appreciate that. I still follow them, by the way. I still follow you guys. I appreciate the content.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true that we've talked about this many times. Over the years. When you look back and when you see the bigger picture, it took me years to understand how it was more about, and not just Bleacher Report. It's it's Sports Center. It's a lot of platforms that are looking more for views, for interactions, for content, than for the actual informative part of it. So it's I understand it. I'm not the most flashy guy out there. I'm not the most exciting guy to watch. But yeah, as long as the narrative is the right narrative is being pushed, is what matters to me.
Yeah. Well, I think this is an important perspective to get, what the player thinks about the way they're covered, the clips that are chosen, the good versus the bad, and those things. What do you think you attribute it to, though? Like why people choose the clips that they choose?
I think there's, all the algorithms and obviously the players that, the markets and the players that have been pushed is the ones that will generate the most views, right? It's the way it works. And for not just Bleacher Report, yeah. I'm not targeting.
I am not offended.
I always talk to you because I don't work here.
Yeah.
It's, once again, it's something that I think there has to be a balance between obviously generating the views and the content that will get the people excited and get the most engagement, but at the same time, not just manipulate the narratives too much around certain type of players, and that's when there's been a few times in the past when I was like, I can see through the lines and see what is being done right here.
Mm-hmm. Especially because I think that if you have a game and you're like, oh my God, this was a great block or a great dunk. Mm-hmm. And you're anticipating, going back to your phone and everybody talking about this block or dunk because someone posted it, but then you see, wait, this moment wasn't posted.
That's okay for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't search that necessarily. I think obviously there's a younger generation of guys that really grew up in the social media and and I've seen that, and it's funny, guys really search for those highlight plays and stuff like that. I don't search for that. I don't ask for posts or anything. I don't think that's not why I play the game. I play the game because I enjoy it, because I like to win, and I like to inspire people. But when it's you do 100 positive things and you there's one slipper edge, you get dunked on or you get crossed over, and then that's being highlighted, and that's what the people, the mainstream people see, and then they create their own narrative around you, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what they see. So they're like, "What? These guys win DPOY, but all I see is him getting crossed. So what is he doing right on the court?"
Yeah.
And that's when it can be tricky. But over the years, I've learned how to see the bigger picture, and I used to, when I was younger, obviously be more, you can get a little upset, but now it's I'm in a different place, with more wisdom. And,
Yeah. Wisdom.
You know,
in your old age, you've just gotten wiser.
getting close to 30, so. You know.
Yeah. Oh, me too. It's close. It's coming. I'm excited for 30 though.
Yeah, me too.
I honestly am. Well, you know, now that you're at the Bleacher offices, you can just like hack into the system and make sure you're the number one
No, it's all
algorithm.
good. It's all good. I'm on about.
Okay, so let's get straight to it. Are you winning Defensive Player of the Year this year?
That's a good question. I mean, time will tell. But you know, it's been a really good year for us as a team. You know, we had some ups and downs, but I really like the way our team has been. You know, has responded to the adversity, and every year, you know, every time I step on the court, I try to be the best. You know, the best defensive player in the world, and my team needs me to be that in order for us to be who we want to be. So I hope so. You know, I hope so. I hope you know, as usual, the number and the impact will speak for itself, and we'll see. We got a few more games to play.
Yeah, I think I saw the little, you know, like the power rankings came out yesterday, and right now I think Giannis is 1. What do you think separates you from a guy like Giannis?
I mean, I have a lot of respect for Giannis. You know, I'm inspired by, you know, the way he's been came into this league, and you know, and similar to me but differently. Like we both like drafted. I was drafted 27. He was drafted 15 or 14, and yeah, he was able to, you know, it's inspiring what he's done, win a championship, but also the player that he has become. So, you know, I never compare myself to other guys. I think everyone is, you know, I respect every single guy in this league. I think we all have different journeys, different, you know, different struggles, different, like you're never gonna hear me criticize other guys. But yeah, he's having a great year, and I do think at the end of the day, when you look at Defensive Player of the Year, for me, it's really the impact. You know, it's there's a lot of guys that, you know, the fans tend to go for the flashy plays sometimes, and it does play a role in the narratives out there. But I think the impact is really what separates, you know, guys. And you look at the teams, you know, guys, the teams without their guys, and when the guys is there, you see the difference. I think that's really a pretty good way of judging somebody's impact.
Well, the Defensive Player of the Year conversation is so interesting with you because it's very layered. I have known you for a very long time. We have had lots of conversations about this award and you know, why people get voted, what it means to be Defensive Player of the Year. There seems to be this major backlash that comes whenever you are Defensive Player of the Year. I know you disagree with a lot of that backlash. Why do you think it happens?
So I think the backlash comes usually from the same people, the same crowds. I think like when I talk to retired players, when I talk to people, coaches, GMs, people that really understand this game and watch me night in and night out, there's never any negative comments being made. They all respect and appreciate, you know, the way I play the game and what I do for my team every night. So it's really I think there's a gap between the overall perception and between the real impact and what I do as a player, the way I impact the game. And I think that's when, you know, when you talk about social media and all that stuff, that's when it comes into play, right? There's usually there's a gap between the perception and reality, pretty much.
What do you think the perception is, and what do you think the reality is?
I think there's been, I mean, when you look on social media and from what I've been hearing over the past few years, there's some narratives, for example, that I can't get out on the perimeter, stuff like that. And there's usually that clip of me spinning around, guarding Steph. That made me laugh too, actually, but 2017, right? And,
yeah.
And usually it's the only argument that people have to try to prove that I can't guard on the perimeter, when it's like, look at the data, look at the numbers, look at like who last year was the number 1 big at guarding the perimeter in terms of efficiency. Guys don't score, and once in a while you get crossed, like Devin Booker, like crossed me over and hit a step back last year, and it was everywhere on social media, and it was a great play. But it's for me, it's mostly about what you don't see on social media. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Like the one highlight that you don't see can affect your perception, but it's not the reality, pretty much.
So how would you tell us? How would you evaluate, how you guard the perimeter? How would you evaluate your performance there?
Really well. I think I'm really comfortable, and once again, I think I've had to adapt my game every year. Like I used to be like 4 or 5 years ago, I was much more uncomfortable guarding the perimeter, and obviously I was really dominant inside and doing what I've been doing, over the years. But the game has evolved. There was more and more shooting big emerging, guys like Jokic, Cat, a lot of shooting bigs, Brook Lopez, and I had to train myself to become comfortable guarding in all those kind of situations. And and Quinn Snyder has played a big part in that, in really challenging me in order for me to keep growing. And I've done it every year. And once again, what I say is backed up by all the numbers. You can look at the data. I mean, it's out there, and there's so many ways to measure efficiency and the way I can impact whoever I'm guarding. And yeah, after year, you can see that the game evolves, but it's kind of fun for me too, because I have to, challenge myself every year, and I think I'm at a point today where I'm really comfortable guarding guys anywhere, and my team needs me to be able to do that in order for us to be where we want to be. So once again, the numbers back it up, and I'm just, keep trying to grow every year.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is an important conversation for you, because anytime there's a narrative about anyone, they should have the outlet and the chance to respond to things. And so I know Patrick Beverley, he went on Old Man in the Three, and he talked about you. And when he was talking about you, he said, how are you the best defensive player if you don't even guard the other team's best offensive player? So I want to give you a chance to answer that question. How's that true?
And me, I'm not I never campaign for myself. I think, I think the game, I think when you play the right way, your game always speaks for itself. And once again, we have a lot of ways of measuring someone's impact, on the court nowadays, which is I think is great. What people gotta understand about what I do on the court is I'm not just guarding one player. Like when I'm out there, my mindset is to guard the whole team. I'm controlling, there's 5 guys on the court, and I don't go out there thinking, oh, my guy, whoever I'm guarding, I want him to score 0 points. But then if everybody else scores and we lose, it's did I really impact my team in a positive way? So I'm going out there thinking I gotta guard this whole team and make sure that this team is not scoring 140 points tonight, and make sure I'm helping my teammates, because at the end of the day, you don't do, it's a team sport. You don't do anything on your own. So my goal is really to go out there and communicate with my teammates and make sure that I have the most impact that I can on my team and ultimately on the other team, making sure that, my guy might score 30. I don't want that. I have pride, obviously, but if my guy scores 30, but the other team scores 80 points, that's the best defense in the league. That's amazing. So I'll take that.
Yeah. So you're saying you're operating within the system that is presented to you.
I'm affecting the whole team. I'm not worried about one player. I'm trying to guard the whole team.
Yeah. Well, something I thought was really interesting, when you all played the Mavericks, late in the game, you were switched on to Luka. How would you evaluate your performance guarding Luka?
I mean, once again, I'm comfortable guarding anyone, and Luka is an amazing player. So, he's very smart. He got that step back. He can drive. He's really crafty, drawing fouls, and he's a really good passer. So, there's some guys that you can double team, and it's harder for them to read. But Luka, it's if you want to be successful, it's hard to double team because he's big. He can pass. He can see the floor. So you have to make him earn it. And that's my challenge every time. Just try to make him earn it, make him hit the toughest shot possible, and he's gonna do it at times. And if he does, you clap your hands, but make him work, and that's my mindset every night.
Now, I might be wrong, but watching that game, it felt like you had kind of a different sense of pride in that performance. That you were on the guy, you were guarding the perimeter, you did a good job in locking him down in different situations. Did that moment feel different for you? And also, how much of that switch was coach and how much of it was you?
So it was, every night, it happens every night.
Yeah.
Like I end up switching, like our defense is not primarily switching, but we know that usually it's gonna happen throughout the game, whether it's early or late. There's usually situations, especially with shooting bigs or shooters, when teams play with like 5 shooters to space me out. Like we rather have me on the ball. At the end of the day, we rather switch and have me guard the ball and then make them earn it. And it happens every night. So obviously, I think because it was Luka Doncic and he's such a really good player, like he brought people's attention a little more. But yesterday I ended up switching on Reggie Jackson. Like every night we're going to be switched on a good player, and usually you're not going to see the highlights, but usually it's if you look at the data once again, it's to our advantage.
Now, I know you don't like to compare, but if you win a 4th Defensive Player of the Year award, do you feel like that does legitimately put you in the conversation for like one of the best defenders of all time?
I mean, every day I step on the court, I want to be the best defensive player of all time. That's the mindset that I have. I don't like to compare, like you say. I don't like to compare the different eras. I think the game is evolving so much. Every 5, every 10 years, the game is changing. So, I do think that, the day I retire, we're gonna look at it, and that would be a good time to judge. But until now, I wish people would just appreciate and just enjoy the not just me, but just all the guys that are out there, accomplishing some things for this game. And I think it's a conversation that we'll have when I retire.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I mean, although you're smiling and I feel like you're kind of like, yeah, I know what I think about myself as a defender, and you're just.
I mean, I know what I think. You know what
Yeah.
I think. I just told you. But I do think, I think, whatever you do in this league, people are always gonna challenge you. There was the narrative a few years ago. It was Rudy cannot guard in the perimeter. Now it's like Rudy cannot impact in the playoffs, which has been proven not to be true by the numbers once again. I had one bad game, and it's been the narrative now. So now it's always, I kind of enjoy it because it's like people are challenging me to keep raising my level every year, and I do want to win the championship. So I think, for me, the next step now is really to help my team try to accomplish that, and we'll see what's going to be the next challenge.
Now, social media is something that you and I have both talked about often, both on my side and on your side. It's just a conversation that we have had. Can you genuinely say that whatever people say about you, whether it's your character or your game, whatever they say on social media, that it doesn't bother you?
So I've learned from a very young age. Obviously I've got drafted, and there's always been criticism, and I think we all deal with that. Whether you're influencer, you're artist, you're NBA player, I think everyone, if you're gonna be on social media, you're gonna see some negative stuff, right? Like I don't know one person in the world that never had a negative comment on social media. So I've just always kind of embraced it. Try to, sometimes I think LeBron said that one time, like sometimes you're just looking for the one guy that's going to say some negative before a game to get that motivation. And that's kind of the mindset that I've had over the years. But at the same time, I realized also that it could affect you, because
Totally.
it does, the way the subconscious works, right? You think you're cool, but then it's in the back of your head, and it's
Yeah.
like, "Man, that guy said that. I got, like, he did say that, and is it true?" And
Yeah.
you think about it, so it's
And you're second guessing yourself, sort of, even
so
though
it
you're
can,
not.
yeah, it can. I realize that it can really mess with you in a way, but I think for me, there's more positive seeing it sometimes than negative. So
Yeah.
even though I have a different relationship with social media than I had over the past few years, I still, pay a little attention to what's going on.
Yeah. Well, because, whenever I'm doing an interview and just the research portion of the interview, one thing I always do is tweet search the person's name, always. And it just feels like any dislike, it's like so magnified for you. Would you agree with that?
Magnified for
Like-
about me, like the way I see it.
Yeah, it's like there are tweets that are just people like, I don't like Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, like, why? It feels like there was a lot of that
No, there is.
online. And I would assume like you see that too. And I'm just curious, like, mentally how that would make you feel.
So obviously, like it's never great when
Yeah.
you see that, but I'm able to once again see the bigger picture, and the reality is that these people don't know me.
Right?
Like they don't know who I am. They've seen a video of me, maybe touching mics, or a video of me, I don't know, blocking their favorite player, or I don't know, whatever it is. Like these people don't know me. They don't know my character. They don't know all the things I do for the world. Like they don't really know who I am. So it's like, can I really be mad for them not knowing me? Like, no. I wish they would know me. I wish they would educate themselves, like try to dig a little deeper about who I am. But most people don't. So, it's part of it. It's part of it. And I think, once again, when we talk about, the big social media platforms that can highlight, it can really impact the narratives out there. Like, it's like I've never seen any of those platforms talk about the good things that I do, or the positive, right? So it's part of it. It's part of it, but I don't let it affect me anymore, because I know these people don't know me.
Yeah. Okay, you said I don't let it affect me anymore. At what point did you stop? Like, was there a specific moment you were like, this is getting to me and I can no longer allow it to have this power over me?
I think the only time that it really was I would say was tough was the COVID situation, because people were really questioning who I am as a person, my character, and my intentions. So that was the toughest part. Then people are questioning like my game or what I do on the court. Like, it's basketball, so I don't really, like, you want to be great, you want to be the best player out there, and you want people to be proud of you and people to respect you for what you do on the court. But it's part of it. We know that. But yeah, questioning your character and who you are as a human being was the little most frustrating part of it. But I think it really helped me grow too as a person, and like be like more detached with social media and people's opinion.
Yeah, because I think you are a very kind person. I think you're a very good person. And when that moment happened, I remember talking to you, and I know how much it affected you that people were making that about who you were. This like one moment was being blown up into like, this is who Rudy Gobert is. How does it feel that for so many people, it's almost like you are synonymous with COVID? People think like you're patient zero.
I still do get.
Yeah.
I mean,
like people are like, he is the reason. It's like, well,
no, but
no.
people were mad at me because they thought I took away their sports. Like they're at home sitting on couch and they cannot watch their game because Rudy Gobert touched those mics. And it's like,
yeah. I mean, it's like someone was going to get COVID. Like that was going to,
anyway, I don't want to get back to this, but
and I'm
people had
sure
COVID
you
in
don't.
November. I mean, there's a lot of evidence. Like they looked in the water and used water, and people had COVID in November, December, and I had it in March.
No, I mean, I think it's silly. Like I'm not. I think,
like it's.
But it's just totally a thing. I mean, like even.
It is, but and I do think I mean, that made me realize how people are really controlled by the narratives and the media and all that. And once again, it was a really big learning experience for me, and I think it made me grow. And And I took a few bullets for people out there, but at the end of the day, I could take it. So
Yeah.
it wasn't easy, but I took it, and it made me grow.
And my thing is with social media, it's like any person, like the smart people are the only people I'm concerned about online. And like, there's no smart person that truly believes that to be true. You know what I mean? Like, so who cares really? You're like, actually.
No, there's no smart. No, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to,
Yeah.
call people out and stuff. But just learning experience. You see, I mean, for me, it really helped me grow as a person, and I do believe everything happens for a reason. So I think, I was being put in this position for a reason, and I was able to do a lot of good after that. So, it was I think it was a tough situation, not just for me, for the whole world. And if people react like this, it's because they have fear, right? They have fear, they have anger, and usually they have to put it on somewhere, they have to put it on someone. So I took a lot of that, and I was aware of it, but I'm happy that I was able to grow from it. And I'm kind of grateful for it, because it was a great, it was a tough process, but it made me stronger.
Yeah. No, I'll never forget. I remember, like you said to me once, you're like, there are so few people in the world that could handle like half the things that like I'm having to handle, But it's always those people that have opinions and like have things to say. So, I mean, I think social media is sometimes the best of people and sometimes the absolute worst of people. So I totally understand that. But I do want to give you a chance, like tell anyone who doesn't know you, like about Rudy Gobert. All the parts they don't see.
There's so many parts that people don't know about me, but I don't know. Well, get specific.
Yeah, okay, so you're like, this question is not pointed enough. When you say, they aren't talking about the good, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. I do a lot of great work with my charity, for example. We do
Rudy's Kids, right?
Yeah, Rudy's Kids Foundation. So we're building a school in Africa right now. We've been doing a lot of cool like block shot event. When like we go to, for example, we go to a city, we go to Sacramento, and we choose a local kid charity, and for each block that I get, we will donate $1,000 to that charity. We also invite kids to the game, and I can meet them after the game and stuff. So just a lot of cool stuff, that I think about how I can impact the younger generation, how I can impact the world in a positive way, and I always thought that kids was, the future. So, for me, kids be able to dream and, be able to accomplish what they want to accomplish is always been something that I really care about.
No, I love that. I vouch. Good for you. I believe that to be true. I want to talk about the Jazz for a little bit.
Let's do it.
Obviously, in season, you guys are always amazing. Regular season, there's all these expectations for you guys. You're playing great. And then the narrative is you get to playoffs.
Yeah.
And just something happens. Why do you think that has been the case in the past, and why is this year maybe different?
I think it's not just the Jazz. I think a lot of teams have had that, like being good in the regular season, and then you get into the playoffs, and it's a different type of basketball. It's a different type of atmosphere. And for us last year, being the best team in the league during the regular season, almost like having no injuries. I probably missed 2 games last year, 1 or 2 games. And then getting to the playoffs and starting facing adversity, right? Mike Conley gets hurt. We don't have a point guard. Like we up 2-0 against the Clippers, and then we all of a sudden it's a tie game. We lose game 5, and then anything can happen, right? And I think it comes with experience most of the time. And we had a lot of in a way disappointing postseason over the last few years, all different. We were in the bubble, we were up 3-1 against Denver.
Yeah.
And then there was that protest, and we canceled some games. I canceled. We don't know if we're gonna keep playing or not. And then all of a sudden it starts again, and the momentum is different, and we lose. Not to have any excuse, but like every year it's been different, and we face different challenges. And for us now, I think we're in a place when we understand that being first in the league doesn't guarantee any championship, doesn't guarantee anything, and we understand that it's about being good at the right moment.
Yeah.
And for us this year, it's been our mindset, building good habits, but when it's playoff time, hopefully be healthy and be the best Jazz basketball team that we can be.
But I mean, how important is that this year to like actually get over that hump? Because you can't forever be, the team that almost did it or the team that you thought was good enough but wasn't,
I mean, we don't want to be an almost team for sure. Right. I think we over the last 9 years, I've been in the Jazz for 9 years, and my first year we won 25 games. I was in the G League, and I always told myself like I want to win a championship for this organization. And we've built. Quinn Snyder got here my second year, and my fourth year we make the playoff for the first time. We beat the Clippers Game 7, and then we lose to the Warriors with KD and everybody. And then every year we felt like we got better and better and better, and now is definitely the time when I'm like, it's a championship or nothing. And I think all the struggles and the adversity that we've been through as a group, as an organization, is preparing us for hopefully this moment, this year or next year or whenever. But we definitely feel like we have something, we have a cool opportunity and something to accomplish.
What team in the West gives you the most problems?
I think our biggest enemy is ourselves.
No, but like what team that's not the Utah Jazz? What team that is not the Jazz gives you the most problems?
To be honest, it's like when you look at from 1 to 8, even 1 to 10, this year has been, obviously Phoenix has been having an amazing year.
There we go. There's an answer.
Phoenix has been, having a great year, and even last year they did. We feel like anybody can beat anybody, pretty much. And that's why I say we're our biggest enemy, because I think like if we're healthy, and if we come in the right mindset, I think we can beat anyone in the 7-game series. But we can also lose to anyone. So it's on us to get ready, finish the season the right way, and then come in and try to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish.
Is there something for you that like feels different about this year and you all?
I think
how
our
you're
poise.
meshing, how you're playing. Okay.
I think our poise is different, and there's one thing that early in the season could be seen as negative, but I think right now I'm really grateful and happy that we've been through this adversity. This stretch is when I was injured, Donovan was injured. We had, I think at some point we had 6 or 7 guys that had COVID, and we lost, a lot of games in a row. And then, last year was different because we didn't have that during the season. And we had kind of a little bit of that during the playoffs, and we weren't ready for it. So now it's like we've had that adversity, we've learned from it, and we're ready to, pretty much go through anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think so much of it too is just getting over that hump just gives you a different level of respect, right? So much of it is, like you said, like not wanting to be that almost team. I think some people even look at the performance that you had specifically in the playoffs last year. When you look back on that, what first comes to your mind?
About the playoffs?
Sorry. The playoffs last year. Like when you all played the Clippers, like what sticks out to you about that performance?
I think like what we've learned, and Milwaukee was a pretty cool example of that last year. Like they were down 2-0, they were down 2-1, a few different series, and people kind of like were counting them out, but they had the belief in themselves. Like they knew that it wasn't a sprint, it was a marathon, and they were able to step up, game after game to raise their level, and it was a really cool and inspiring, I think, story to see them win a championship, because they wasn't first in the East, they, in a way, even if I don't like comparisons, like it was similar to us this year when they had a lot of adversity during the regular season, but you know, they just raise their level during the playoffs. And it's the mindset that we want to have. We want to have the mental toughness to be able to, because there's no championship without adversity. You know, there's no championship. Like, you don't sweep everybody and win a championship. The Warriors kind of did that one year, but they had a pretty special team.
Yeah.
But this year, we don't feel like anyone's going to sweep everybody and win a championship. So it's how we're going to react to that adversity and the mental toughness that we're gonna have that's gonna make the difference.
You know, one thing that's great about you, and I think that it shines through in the way that you also answer your questions, and you've said it about yourself, is you always take the high road. That is something that you have kind of dedicated yourself to doing. And you actually had that quote when someone talked to you about Draymond and the remarks that he made about you. This whole situation, I think, is very fascinating to me. This whole Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green thing. So I want for you, why do you feel like that relationship is where it is right now? Or I guess lack of relationship.
Yeah, I mean, when you say relationship, is what he's saying about me, because I'm not talking about him.
You're right.
So, I mean, when I see him in person, he's always very nice and respectful, you know, so it's, you know, as long as that stayed the same, you know, like things that are being said about me on podcasts, or it's not just Draymond, it's a lot of guys, you know, that, you know, trying to discredit what I do every night, or who I am as a player, or like it's part of it, you know, and for me, I would always take that as respect. If I wasn't, if I was a average defensive player, or average player, they wouldn't talk about me, right? So I would always take that as respect, and you know, and you know, guys have platforms now, and they have a voice, and when their voice can affect the average narrative, and can affect, you know, people's mind and people's opinions, like, is their right to use it? You know, are they right? Are they wrong? Once again, there's data, there's numbers, there's, you know, a lot of people that know this game, that watch the game, and that are kind of neutral, you know, that don't have anything to gain, and they can make their own opinion. So for me, it's like, I'm never going to talk down on anyone. You know, I respect all these guys. You know, once again, like, I respect every guy in the league. I think everyone, first of all, being in this league is already something, it's already a great accomplishment, and it's hard to also be in this league and sustain this league and be consistent, you know, and they will tell you the same. So I show respect, you know, and if you disrespect me in person, it's a different story, but you can say whatever you want about me.
Yeah. Well, this whole thing I just think is very interesting, because you look at it and it's like, what happened specifically between these two that, you know, he feels the way that he does? And you know me, so I just asked. I was like, you know, I'm going to be interviewing Rudy, and I'm trying to understand why this exists between you guys. I want kumbaya, you know?
Yeah, you want views.
But he actually said something that I had no idea about, and I don't know if he'd ever talked about. He said that he had issues with actually the French national team. And I guess how he felt like you guys were talking to them on the court, and that was one of the reasons that he felt this way towards you. Do you know?
Did he give you any details?
I mean, do you want to hear the exact text, or you're just like?
I mean, I want details,
Yeah.
because
Okay, he
that
said.
definitely didn't come from me.
Let's see.
But if you're gonna hate me because some other guys say some stuff,
I don't think he hates you.
I don't care.
He said, they, as the French national team, have been very mouthy when it comes to us, yet they don't beat us when it matters. Playing with Team USA, it's us against the world. And to hear guys like him and Evan Fournier get in the media and talk shit as if they don't already know how shit really goes pisses me off.
Well, show me what shit I talked.
So you disagree? Like, you're like, I wasn't doing that.
I don't talk shit, so like, I want to see the evidence of me talking shit. But I love the competitiveness.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I think in a way it's cool that Team USA is finally like getting mad at the team, because they used to kick everybody's ass for the past few years, and for the past 30 years, since basketball started. So I think it's in a way, I think it's good for basketball that, they are getting mad at us because they feel like they have a little bit more of a chance, even though they're still a better team. I think they have much more talent than we have. It's great that we have, a little more competitiveness. And in terms of the shit talking, I don't talk shit, so it didn't come from me.
Okay. How personally did you take that matchup?
I mean, it's a dream. For me, it was always a dream to try to represent my country and then try to win a gold medal. So whether it's Team USA or all the great Spain, Slovenia, all these great basketball teams, it's like you in front of me, so I'm trying to win a gold medal, and there's competitiveness. Like it wouldn't be fun if it was easy, and for us, the challenge has been over the last few years. It's been Team USA has been our biggest challenge. So it's always, it's guys that we face, throughout the whole year, and it's cool to be in a position when you're the underdog too, because we're always the underdog. So it's just competitiveness, and it's a dream for me to not just, first of all, beating these guys was a dream. Like it was we had never beat Team USA before, and we did it in the World Cup in China in 2018, and now being able to do that is it's just competitiveness and a dream.
So is there any world where you feel like this is squash? I think you're great, I think Draymond's great, and I just think there should be
There's no beef on my side. I mean, as long as you keep your respect, you stay in line and don't disrespect my family or stuff like that. It's just competitiveness, and it just, once again, every time I talk about Draymond and anybody else, I show respect. So if these guys want to disrespect me, it's their choice, and I take that as respect because I know that it's competitiveness and I'm a quiet person, but some guys are different. They have different personalities, and they're gonna express their mind, and it's fine.
Okay, that's fair. And it's weird. Like some people are like into it. They're like, yeah, Rudy and Draymond.
People love beefs.
Yeah.
Once again, like we're gonna go back to this again, but like beef generate more interactions. It generates more. Like even me, like when you watch a video and there's a fight or something, you want to watch, right?
Yeah.
It's more interesting. So I get it, but yeah, I'm chilling.
Okay, that's fair. So I guess it's not necessary. The beef's not going to end with this episode, unfortunately. Even though I know it's not on your side or anything like that.
I don't have a beef with anyone.
Yeah, and I even said to him, I was like, I mean, do you see a world this is fine? He said, he's not my teammate. It doesn't have to be fine. And I mean, I guess that's true too.
I mean, I don't care.
Yeah. You're like, I'm over it. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I have like a super, super random thing to talk about. Because I was talking to some of your teammates about this moment when you all were on the plane and the birds flew into the engine. And everybody else just got this report of like, okay, they had to make an emergency landing. Mm-hmm. But what I'm hearing is like, you guys actually thought like it was over. Like y'all were very scared on that plane. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it was really scary.
Yeah.
I mean, just thinking about it. Like something that, I flew so many planes in my life, and I'm always a little, not scared, but it's always like when it moves, you're like, is it my last time? You ask yourself, right? And you like try to make yourself feel better and stuff.
Yeah.
But that time, like that feeling of, something exploding, and like the plane was like making a weird noise, and you could feel that it was really struggling to fly. And also when you look at the flight attendants and you see that they are scared, like I've never seen a scared flight attendant before. So it was like, if she's scared, I mean something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I mean guys everyone has a different way of expressing,
Yeah, no, because I heard like some people were crying, like they thought it was done.
Yeah, some people were praying, some people were crying.
Yeah.
I was pretty calm externally.
Yeah.
But yeah, just yeah, you were questioning like I didn't want to text my mom because I felt like she could like really like get really scared, and I want to make sure that she wasn't panicking
Yeah.
and like overreacting. So just had to be patient for a few minutes, and it was tough, but once we found out that it was just only one engine that was blown up, then we felt a little better. But I still, till this day, like I still have some little PTSD from it.
Yeah.
Like it's still hard. Like I still apprehend a little bit flying.
How much of you thought like, no, this plane is going to go down?
I don't know I know a lot of guys thought that, and a lot of guys actually saw the flame coming out of the engine and stuff. So it's probably even worse. For myself, I was just trying to convince myself that it wasn't my time, and that's it. It's the only thing you can do. It's you and your mind, at the end of the day. And I was happy those next few days was you appreciated it more, everything.
Yeah.
And then, it's I guess it's part of it, but it was really, it didn't happen for the last 20 years, so it was pretty unlucky in a way, and lucky at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's wild to think about a moment that even if it's like a little in your head, you're like, oh my God, is this it? Like, what are you actually, like, what's
But
running?
you understand that, you can make that much money, you can be successful, you can, like, life is so fragile.
Yeah.
So it's like, it gives you perspective, even though, I try to always work on, my mind and my perspective of life and everything, but you realize that everything is so, like one little moment, and it can be done. Like I was, just like when I was watching that Kanye documentary, and it's the same. Like you just realize that, like it's very fragile.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm like, someone has to do like an oral history on that day, because I think it would be really interesting, like getting the perspective of each of you all and what you were thinking in that moment and what you saw.
I would love to, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that we've talked about it a little bit, but it's like I don't want to. You almost don't want to bring back those memories to a lot of guys, so you don't want to talk about it. But yeah, I mean, it was really, it was really scary.
Yeah, like it was more serious than portrayed. Like I thought y'all just had to land. Like I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, it was bad. I never had that in my life. Like it was like we felt something, an explosion, like we got hit by a rocket or something, and then the plane wasn't right. You could feel that it wasn't right.
Yeah.
and the silence, because the pilots were trying to figure it out, and the silence for like was 5 or 10 minutes when we didn't know what was going on. So we didn't know, and the pilots were like, we try to work it out, and flight attendant are panicking. So it was tough. It was tough, but I'm glad that we made it out, and
Yeah.
and it's once again it's something that you like, it gives you more perspective too.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm glad you are okay and you made it through. Rip to the birds, though.
Yeah. So yeah.
Because they didn't see the light of day. You know,
for sure. And the pilot was actually able to dodge most of them, because there was a big flock of birds, and he was able to slide on that way, and so they only hit the left engine, and one bird hit the it's not funny, but one bird hit the front of the plane, like there was blood on the front sheet and stuff.
oh, like when
But
you got off, you saw that.
if you would have blown both engines, that would have been much more serious, probably, because you can the planes are built to be able to float, to glide, but without engines, it's really harder for the pilots to move around. So we probably would have landed on the Salt Lake.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it was just a really unfortunate experience.
You've had just like quite an eventful past 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah. How do you feel like you're different coming out of it?
Different. I think everything in life is an experience. Whether like we see things are good or bad, but I think every experience everything that we experience is a lesson in a way, and you just learn. And life is about going forward, until it's your day. You keep going forward, you keep learning, and you keep trying to, fulfill what you want to fulfill.
When people think of Rudy Gobert as a player, like what do you want to stick out to them?
I think just a competitor, a guy that always did anything he could to win. That's many as a player. I hope I want to be remembered for more than being a basketball player, and I want my legacy to be much more than that. But if you talk about just me, the player, someone that always did just a winner, someone that did anything he could to be a good leader and help his team winning.
Who are your 4 favorite guys to guard in the league?
Favorite guys to guard? I don't have a favorite guy, but obviously I love challenges. And
okay, so I'm gonna give you an option. You either have to tell me 4 favorites or tell me the 2 toughest.
The 2 toughest? I mean, the thing is there's so much talent in this league right now. I think there's never been as much talent overall. On every night there's a guy that can go off, or every night there's a guy that give you can give you matchup problems, right? Because the talent level is through the roof now, and I think there's generational talents like Steph, like Jokic, Luka.
So who are the 2
Joel.
toughest?
2 toughest in my position.
For you, just for you.
So in my position, definitely Jokic and Embiid. They're the two guys that are really unique, and it's always, I know that I need to be ready for those matchups, because they just put a lot of pressure on your team, and you have to, there's no perfect game plan, right? You have to always adjust. You have to adjust. You have to try to surprise them. You have to, bring it to them, differently that some other guys, and it's that's what makes it exciting, right?
Something you said, actually, I thought was interesting. You said that Europeans tend to play with more emotions on the court, and I think you were talking about this after that Mavs game. What did you mean by that?
I think the way I don't know what it is. I think the way maybe something with the formation in Europe, and something with the way we've been taught the game. I don't know, I feel that, and you can see it, right? Europeans usually have more, have more emotional reaction on the court, or get a little more mad.
Give me an example.
React.
And it could be an example of
myself.
You. Yeah.
And I've got better at it, but I play with emotions. I play with, if I get fouled and it's not called, or something like that, or you show a little emotion. And I think it's, maybe just the way I don't know how to explain it. Probably the way we've been taught since very young, and it's a different type of, I think the Americans are more taught how to be really good individually, and we're more taught of how to play as a team. And maybe the result is, I don't know what it is, but it's intriguing.
Do you think that has helped you more or hurt you more?
If you look at my career, and it probably helped me to be that type of player. I don't know what kind of player I would have been if I would have played in college or in high school and college and everything, but I'm really grateful for the path that I had, and I'm grateful for my journey.
And you had said after that same game, you're you want the refs to be able to do more about what players are saying to each other. Am I saying that out of context? You were talking about.
I was talking about, when guys say some stuff, but but they know there's like, you know, it's you on the court and they're on the bench or on the court, and like I think, you know, as a man, like you want to be able to, you gotta navigate, like guys calling you names and stuff, and but at the same time you don't want to hurt your team, because if you react, like you get a tech or you get ejected or whatever, and so yeah, just be able to keep the game more in check certain times. And I love to play physical. I prefer, like I love, you know, when not a lot of things are being called, but there's difference between physicality and disrespect in a way. So it's like just the game. I think you have to keep that in check.
Yeah, because you were like, there are some things that were said that I would never say.
I don't, and once again, that's me, but I don't, like the most I would say is maybe like when I block a shot, I would say, give me that shit or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't disrespect guys or, you know, like target guys verbally. You know, that's the way I am. Once again, like everyone's different.
Okay, that's fair. I think we have fan questions.
Yeah, a couple. Okay. In terms of defensive player of the year, take yourself out of the equation. Who do you vote for? Who do you think gets it?
If you cannot win defensive player of the year, who wins?
That's a good question. I have to dig into, because I haven't really paid attention to the numbers and stuff. So I would probably have to do my research.
You haven't paid
And
attention
I
to
don't
the
want
other defenders.
You know, I pay attention to like what's been said a little bit and stuff like that, but I didn't dig really into the data and the numbers, and I think it would be unfair to them to judge them without doing that. So I don't know, but some guys have had really good
Well,
years.
one thing you talked about, you know, in terms of, you know, judging someone's defensive ability, you talked about just pure impact. So if we know the disclaimer that you don't have the numbers in front of you, but you know about impact, who's a guy you're like, they impact their team defensively on a different level?
There's a lot of guys this year that, I mean, not a lot, but like there's a handful of guys this year that I thought have been really good. You know, like the young kid from Memphis, Jackson, Robert Williams with Celtics. I really like Michael Bridges.
Yeah.
The problem when I do that is that I'm gonna forget some guys. Like Bam is a really good defender.
Well, and someone's going to say, oh, well, you didn't say Giannis.
I mean, Giannis is obviously a really good defender. Draymond is a really good defender. He's missed a lot of games, but he's a really, really good defender. I have a lot of respect for all those guys. So, yeah, I love to see how guys take pride in, you know, trying to win that award and being and just be like put their mind into being a great defender. I think it's great for the game.
But so even when you put yourself back in the equation, do you feel like the defensive player of the year race right now is like there's a guy way ahead of everyone, or do you think it's kind of a logjam right now? Do you think the winner is clear? Because I don't know if I believe that right now.
I think obviously the season is not over.
Yeah.
Once again, we have to look at the number, the impact, and it's not I'm not the one to you know, to say who should win, who should not. I want to win. Obviously, I do think if you look at the impact, I do think once again like it's clear, but you know it's a long season, and you know, I respect all those guys, and I think we're gonna see how it goes until the end.
Fair. I'm a voter, so I'm always like, what do I think? But it's like I get major anxiety being a voter because you want to make sure you make the right choices, and I do think it's very important that you take a lot of time to make those choices. The fact that some people's money hinges on the voting is wild. So you just always want to make sure you have like an educated answer. So I understand.
No, for sure. And I love that you really take the time to do that, you know, and take the time to, doesn't mean that there's a perfect answer for everything, but at least you take the time to research and make your own opinion and listen to what people say and to I think you have a good feel for the game. So if everyone does that, you know, we're in a good place.
Another one?
Funniest player you've ever played with?
Funniest player you've ever played with?
I play with a lot of funny guys. Joe Ingles.
I was
He's
just
a
going to
funny
say
guy.
he's funny. Yeah.
He's a little annoying, but he's funny. Who else? Who is funny? I play with a lot of clowns. I remember Richard Jefferson used to be funny my rookie year.
Yeah.
I don't
He's
know
still
why.
funny. Yeah.
He used to make me laugh a lot. But he was a great vet, though.
Yeah.
He really he took care of me, so I appreciate that.
Okay. Joe Ingles, Richard Jefferson. Another one?
Okay, last one. You've been on one team for your entire career in a small market. What do you think about some of the biggest names switching teams when things don't go as planned?
I think it's hard for me to judge other guys for the decisions that they make, right? It's I know that my personality is that I'm stubborn, so I want to keep trying with the same team, and then obviously, like if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. But that's my mindset. This has been my mindset for my whole life. But yeah, I think guys should be allowed to, if they're not happy, like why would they play somewhere if they're not happy, right? So, who am I to judge what guys decide to do or not? I think it's we play a great game, but it's also a business, and you have to respect guys' decisions, and yeah, I do think like it can impact their legacy though. Like I have a lot of respect for someone like Dirk, for example. That I think Dirk's championship like has a lot of value because of the way he kept going with the same team, and he kept trying. But at the end of the day, it's a game, and you gotta respect guys' decisions and guys' happiness.
That's fair. I hope that you feel like in some ways you were able to address narratives that are out there about you, whether it's about your personality, whether it's about your play as a defender. I think that's important. I don't know how often you have been able to
I don't think it's
speak
about
freely.
addressing it. I think it's more about having obviously like the opportunity of like for people to get to know me a little more. I think it's if they take the time to listen and not just pay attention to the flashy quotes, take the time to listen to the whole thing, and like it's what it's about, right? We're quick to judge people without knowing them, and I think if people would take a little more time to just have more empathy and get to know, read through the lines, I think it would be, social media would be more peaceful for sure.
Oh, social media and peaceful. I don't know if those two things go together. Hopefully, one day.
One day.
No, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.